We'll be finding the greatest common factor, and we'll be using small numbers. And the key to finding greatest common factors is division. Okay, so starting from the number 1, 1 is always easy. 6 can be divided by 1. Next, 2. 6 can be divided by 2. 6 can also be divided by 3. And we're about halfway there to 6, so we can jump up. And 6 can always be divided by itself. So it'll always begin with 1 and end with itself as far as your division. So once you get to the last number, which is itself, you're done. Now, 8 can always be divided by 1. 8 can be divided by 2. 8 can be divided by not 3. Oh, it can be divided by 4. And since we're halfway there to 8, I can stop at, I can divide by 8. Now, let's find the greatest of the common factors. Okay, and the greatest common factor here they have in common is 2. So the greatest common factor is 2. All right, so 10. 10, first of all, can be divided by 1. It can be divided by 2. Cannot be divided by 3, 4, but it can be divided by 5. Since we're halfway there to 10, we skip all the way to 10. So 10 can be divided by all of these. Now, 8 can be divided by 1. It can be divided by 2. Can't be divided by 3, but it can be divided by 4. And since we're halfway there, we can go all the way to 8. So our greatest common factor, see, 1 is a common factor, but 2 is bigger than 1. So 2 is the greatest common factor. So 2 can divide. This is the biggest number that can divide into 10 and 8. So let's find the biggest number that can divide into 30 and 20, which would be the greatest common factor. All right, this can be divided by 1. 30 can be divided by 2. 30 can be divided by 3. Not 4. Oh, it can be divided by 5. Can be divided by 6. Ooh, okay, I'm running out of numbers. It can be divided by not 7, 8, 9, 10. It can be divided by 10. And it can be divided by not 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. 15. And since we're halfway there, we can use 30. We can go to 30. 30 can be divided by 30. Now 20 can be divided by 1, of course. I can also divide that by 2. I can't divide it by 3, 4. I can divide it by 4. I can divide it by 5. 6, no. 7, no. 8, no. 9, no. 10. I can divide it by 10. So I can divide it by 10. Oh, since I'm halfway there, I can jump all the way to 20. So let's find the greatest out of those that can be divided by. The biggest number that can divide both would be the number 10. That's the greatest. They both can be divided by 5, both can be divided by 2, they both can be divided by 1, but the greatest number that can both be divided by is 10. So we'll put the 10 over here. Okay, so 30 and 24. Of course, 30 can be divided by 1. 30 can be divided by 2. It can be divided by 3. So it can't be divided by 4. Can be divided by 5 though. It can be divided by 6 as well. Not 7, not 8, not 9, but it can be divided by 10. Not 11, not 12, not 13, not 14, 15 can be divided by 15. And 15 is halfway, so I can go ahead and go down to 30. So it can be divided by 30. 24 can be divided by 1. It can be divided by 2, 3. Yep, it can be divided by 3. It can be divided by 4. Yep, it can be divided by 4, but not 5. But it can be divided by 6. Not 7, not 8. Yeah, 8. It can be divided by 8. 9, no. 10, no. 11, 12. Yeah, 12. It can be divided by 12. And since 12 is halfway to 24, we can jump down to 24. It can be divided by 24. Now, the greatest of all these numbers that can be divided by, I believe would be the number. So I'm looking for it. I see the 6's right here. I think 6 is the greatest number. I don't see anything. I don't see any other matches. So they both can be divided by 6. So 6 is my greatest common factor.